Welcome back. So let's talk about our exchange rate. We have $1 exchanging for 1,465 naira 33 kobo, and we have €1 exchanging for 1,696 naira 20 kobo. We also have £1 exchanging for 1,961 naira 76 kobo. Then we have one Canadian dollar exchanging for 1,042 naira 97 kobo. Then lastly, we have one Chinese yuan exchanging for 205 naira 61 kobo. Interesting.
Yes. Although there's some appreciation, there's some
depreciation, yeah.
But then compared to what we had obtainable last month,
this is really good, yeah.
So now moving on to the national business news. We have Nigeria's inflation falls to 18.02% in September on drop in food prices. Nigeria's consumer price has slowed to 18.02%, helped by further drop in food prices. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the consumer price index declined to 18.02% in September 2025, the sixth consecutive month from 20.12% in August 2025. On a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in September 2025 was 0.72%.
All right, let's move on to IMF. IMF projects Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio hit 36.4% by 2005 and 35% by 2026. The report indicates that Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio will fall from 39.3% in 2024 to 36.4% in 2025. And further to 35% in 2026, reflecting growing fiscal discipline and economic stability. According to the IMF, the figures include overdraft from the Central Bank of Nigeria and liabilities of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria and CON. The IMF's projection signals a gradual improvement in Nigeria's debt sustainability outlook, driven by expected fiscal consolidation measures, improved revenue mobilization, and the positive effects of economic growth. A declining debt to GDP ratio implies that the country's debt burden is shrinking relative to the size of its economy, a development that underscores progress in public financial management and reduced dependence on borrowing.
And now to the international business scene. The US blasts China as unreliable as trade tensions mount. In an unusual staged appearance, U.S. Trade Representative Jamie Singira and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent blasted China's plan to curb export of rare earth economic cohesion and the global supply chain power grab. If China wants to be an unreliable partner to the world, then the world will have to decouple, Bessent said. At the same time, they left the door open to negotiation, questioning whether China would ultimately implement the export control it announced last week. China processes around 90% of the world's rare earth and magnet materials that are critical for advanced tech manufacturing and go into everything from cars to smartphones. Its dominance of the sector is a key point of vulnerability in trade talks for the US, where many firms rely on the materials.
All right, and Reeves says she's looking at tax rises ahead of budget. Now, Rachel Reeves, Britain's financial minister, has said she's looking at further measures on tax ahead of next month's budget in a clear sign yet that tax hike are on the way. The Chancellor also said she was considering further measures on public spending in a bid to put the UK's finances on a firmer footing. Speaking to broadcasters ahead of an international finance summit in the US, she added that she would continue to prioritize economic and fiscal stability. The Chancellor is widely expected to raise taxes at the budget on 26 November after gloomy economic forecasts and a series of U-turns on welfare cuts made it harder for her to meet her own tax and spending rules. Well, and that'll be all on financial matters today, which is Money Matters.